Welcome to Paperweights, the podcast where two self-proclaimed gym rats and shooting enthusiasts delve into the world of literature with a sprinkle of humor. Although their biceps could crush a walnut, don't let that intimidate you. They also have a nerdy side. Mike and Brandon have a voracious appetite for reading, particularly in the fantasy genre, and they want to share their passion with you. So grab your protein shake and your favorite novel and join us for a humorous and insightful journey into the world of books with Paperweights.
Welcome back to another episode of Paperweights. I'm your host, Brandon.
Justin.
I'm Chris.
Welcome back. And so first of all, before we talk about anything else, I want to say I did finally release Justin's episode of War and Peace about War and Peace. So it's on the channels, YouTube, if you want to watch his beautiful face. And then, Spotify, Apple, or Amazon podcasts if you want to just listen to it. And we just got back from Justin and I and some of our other friends. Chris, you were at some other event, but we were all at
a murder mystery bachelor party. It was all right.
Yeah. Well, we all went to.
It was actually really cool.
We all went to CoastCon, and kind of a yearly thing we do, and play a bunch of board games, card games, tabletop games. It's 3 days of fun. And I will say, without Chris and Dustin, there was no beer on Saturday night. So it wasn't as terrible Sunday morning. Actually, it was probably equal because of the time change. But if the beer was there, it would have been, we would not have done anything on Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, we really didn't do anything except wait around for the board game drawings.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of free games.
Sunday was quite rough after a bachelor party and the time changed. Shout out to Rich, who's getting married. Any of the new listeners that we have who I bragged about the podcast to, and who seemed interested.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the podcast.
Oh, yeah. There were quite a few people who seemed interested. So anyone new listening, hey.
Yeah. And just a little bit on the War and Peace podcast. It's pretty short. It's like less than 40 minutes. So just in and out. You won't have to listen to 1,000 hours of a podcast like you will right now.
Justin's giving us the quick in and out.
Yep.
Justin and I met Scott Lynch, and we talked to him for a little bit, the author of Lies of Locke Lamora and the Gentleman Bastard series.
Yeah.
And I invited him to be on an episode, and he said he would love to. So I guess we are going to read the Gentleman Bastard series. And we can have him on and ask him all sorts of questions about the next book.
Yeah, he said the next book is coming out next year, so that's exciting because I know fans have been waiting for it. So, yeah, good timing to get into that. Maybe next year, early next year or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I think so. We got 3 books, and the 4th comes next year.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a 7-book series. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, before we jump in, this podcast is sponsored by Mudcat Whiskers, a local Louisiana beard care product company. And they sell a variety of beard care products, including wash, conditioner, balm, oil, and butters. I use the wash and conditioner and the balm daily. Anytime I want some extra shine, or a different scent, I'll put that oil on. And the candles, they come in a variety of scents. Any scent that the candle comes in the beard stuff as well. So if you don't have any facial hair or are allergic to oils or things, then um, go ahead and buy yourself a candle. I don't know why my wife is calling me right now. As far as I know, she's at home. That was weird. So anyway, visit Mudcat Whiskers at www.mudcatwhiskers.com and use code paperweights at checkout, and you'll save yourself 15%. All right, so I already told Chris this week. The epigraphs of this were just nonsense. Like trying to read and understand some of them.
I disagree. I didn't want to say it to you in
I
person. They are the most
I
Yasna thing ever made.
Hold on. So, sorry about that. The reason why my wife called was because our daughter took our dog for a walk and she was supposed to go around the block and she wasn't back yet. And my wife drove around the block, didn't find her. But at that point, when I walked outside, she came around the corner. She had taken the long walk. So, um,
You can do that if you notify people.
yeah, you got to tell us. And of course, she doesn't have a phone or anything. So, my daughter is safe. So,
huzzah.
huzzah! All right, so epigraphs.
Yes. Uh, I kind of got the sense that it's setting up like Seth Nail Skybreaker split thing since it happened in the past.
I agree with that. I was just at the time I messaged Chris, it was one that I was reading. I was like, what the hell does this mean? Because it was just like it was the one where it's like first the first and second the second, but like on a reread, I went and reread it. I was like, oh, they were talking. He was just talking about like when they whoever was fighting or arguing, they just like the first one would win the first argument, and the second one would win the second argument, and then the first one would win the third argument. It would switch back and forth. But it was just like it was very weirdly written, and I was like, "What the hell does this mean?"
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little weird.
But no, I agree with you, Justin. Chris, what was your opinion?
I was just saying it sounds like something Yasna just loves. Like something like some scholar that's basically was like Yasna way back in the day, just the most like just trying to impress people with a big vocabulary kind of a thing.
Yeah,
Leave people going like, what? What'd she say?
Yeah.
Even though I know it wasn't Yasna that wrote it, it just gave me that. I just kept feeling that impression. I think it was also because Yasna gave Shalon the copy, so
yeah.
but
Yeah.
all right. Chapters.
Chapter 43.
Chapter 43.
What is
Or
your
Origin of Songs with good old Downer. So Downer's chilling in the spiritual realm. We see some flashes of his life. If y'all need any of those of note, you can shout them out. Then he basically goes into a vision of the humans coming to Roshar, and he's a singer, and he like pulls in Navani, and they're like talking stuff, and then they're like, "Oh, maybe we can learn something," and like a portal opens up to the other world, and it's kind of that, and the wind talks to him.
Yeah, that's definitely what happened. It was I have
the big note I have on this one is I have two of them. One of them being like, we don't know what kind of form they were in. Like I don't remember all the forms that were mentioned in book two.
Seems like
But
worker,
Huh?
seems like worker form, but I
No, I thought they said it was less.
maybe
Was it worker form?
I don't know.
I didn't think too much of it.
It was not a regal though.
But it is interesting to note that they have a form then. So they definitely the songs and everything.
Well, yeah, but they had forms from like they talked about having forms before Odium came.
Yeah, but they've also mentioned other things like the Spren. There's no mention of Spren in this chapter or the what was that, chapter 46. I don't think there's not a single Spren pops up. And I know that they're not common in Shinovar, but it's kind of interesting that like something big's happening and there's not one there, you know? So who knows? I don't know if they're like it might have been false narrative, you know what I mean? Like
They mentioned
unreliable
this. They
narrative.
mentioned the sprint in this chapter.
They do where?
Uh, page 412, 22.
Oh,
Adonasium, the female singer, agrees to work and will come back for us. Until then, we have the wind, the stone, the spren, life of the trees, the light of the day.
I guess they mentioned them. None of them pop up, I guess.
No, yeah, they're not like talking and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got the oh yeah, I do have that note here. Um uh what happened to my thoughts? My brain is broken today.
You just
Apparently.
thought your kid
This
might have gotten lost. It
this
happened.
time change also. Um I did make a note here about the sprint as well. Um and it's yeah, it is right. So Dalinar went and asked one of the singers about honor. And like this is like a taboo thing apparently at this moment in time because the one of them there's like a rift and it's like, oh, you're like one said honor is their god, and then another was like, oh, we're going over this again. So there's like some dispute about
Yeah.
whether honor is actually all of their god. Um,
But they are still working together and friends, so it couldn't be that serious of a thing. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and that's where we also get the Adonasium's name, their name for Adonasium is the origin of songs. So the Cosmere related singers existed before Adonasium, uh, the shattering of Adonasium. So they could be created just like humans were by Adonasium and sent out onto different planets.
Yeah.
And of course, we found out the origin gave Roshar the spren, the forms, the wind, and the stone, just like Justin had just read, life of trees and light of day. And they believe that Adonasium would return.
Yeah. I will say for this section, I really thought we would get more from this point in history. We kind of just get nothing, which is funny. You're like, hey, there was dogs. That's like it.
Well, that's in the next chapter, but yeah, actually,
Yeah,
that's two of them for now. But yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
It's just kind of funny. I thought like
in
we
also
was
this
that
gonna,
day.
like either the heralds age slowly or things happen more quickly than they thought, or something. You know,
man.
there's some time issue because the math ain't adding. One thing I do want to ask is, I get the impression, and this is kind of like I might be wrong, like I was about the sprint, like there was there's nothing growing in the mud flats, right? Like they all look at that area like, yeah, that's just dirt. I
I
wonder
don't
why, like if there's just plains of mud, eventually something's gonna grow in there. You know
not
what I
if
mean?
it's constantly watered.
It's constantly watered, yeah, but like I don't know, like it just sounded like it was just I don't like I'm wondering if the planet was created in such a way where it has like the Crim and the Crim do their thing and all this stuff, but it never got a seed that grows in soil. Like it just never like it never evolved that way. It never got that, and it just doesn't have it. So
It does
it,
mean that the
that
soil existed before humans came, which is interesting.
yeah, that's kind of the like was it fallback, like Adonazia make a fallback for the humans or something, you know what I mean? That saved this little section for him.
I,
I don't know. It was
I
just a weird thought I had about it while reading it.
yeah, I don't know. Um, but yeah, so we have the wind comes with the storm and talks to Dalinar and is like, "Oh yeah, you're the two other guys, they're in this same spot, but in the current timeline." So I feel like there might be some communication between the wind or between Dalinar and Kaladin.
It's gonna happen.
The wind is going to facilitate. Um,
What day will that happen?
day
I don't
six.
even know.
Day six.
Day 6.
I'm gonna say day six. I
I'll
don't
say
know.
day 8. It's gonna be a late thing. It's gonna be out of like a moment of no hope. I gotta reach through.
sure.
You got a day, Justin?
Nah,
Okay.
I don't know.
But yeah, at the end of the chapter, a portal opens up to the sky, and they see that Ashen is on fire, and it's Ishar, any of those names, just spreading the sky open like Goatsy.
Yep, it's a fun reference.
It's chapter.
Yeah, yeah. We
Have any more?
learned. Yeah, we learn this. One of the things we do learn is that they had access to all the surges before they had honor blade. So that's fun. Maybe that's what caused the world to explode. But yeah, we can move on. We have Shalon in 44, a semblance of reality.
We do know that the the destruction of Ashen was caused by unbounded surges, access to surges without bounds.
Do we know that? Okay.
Yeah, they've mentioned that several times in the series.
Okay.
I did mention that it was the surges.
Yeah, they are not bound right now.
Yeah.
Which means our guys could get unbounded. So Shalon's also chilling in the spiritual realm. She's in a manifestation of Renarin's room in his house. All the people are there. They're gonna go find Dalinar and all them because they discuss it, and they're like, "Oh, Mraize and them are probably gonna be looking for Dalinar, and that's like the easiest way to do it. So we'll also go look for them, and also we need to be avoided because the gods will kill us for some reason." And yeah, so they're like, "All right, cool, we're gonna jump do that." And Pattern's very excited about murdering people.
Yes, he is. Poor boy. Oh, I love him.
Yeah, I like that Soko is like murder. Shalon is good at murder. It's just like you shouldn't be as excited to say that as you are. Um,
He likes truth.
Shalon. Uh,
Um, I
Pattern
got two.
Pattern hugs Shalon a lot now.
She needs a lot of hugs.
Yeah. I could just see it like an awkward Voldemort
Voldemort solid. I mean, like he
yeah
is like tall and skinny and just jet black. So like
and uh
freak.
swirly face.
Mhm. Um. So the one thing that Justin even mentioned it when he was going over was that the Spren said they needed to hide because the gods hate them and would like destroy them. Is that if any Spren comes into the spiritual realm, is it
No,
because they're corrupted, or is it
it's the
because that they're
enlightened Spren. So like the fact that Ja'anat corrupted them, they're
Okay, because they're corrupt or
yeah, like
okay, that's what I thought.
they don't like being referred to as corrupted. They're enlightened. But yeah, they're no longer necessary of any of the gods.
Um, I also have a message right now to Brandon Sanderson or anyone in his crew that is listening. If you do a Kickstarter that is just kids' toys, that is like Alethi soldiers and a fortress and little shard bearer toys and stuff, and you can make your own little, I will super Kickstarter it. Like I will buy the big one that comes with the castle and everything. I mean, wouldn't y'all?
Would you
No, I'm
want the
good.
like the Kolinahr Palace?
Yeah, I'll take Kolinar.
Uathiru?
No, I want Kolinar. I want like nice, classic, like what is it?
What about the
North
Azish Palace?
Macadamia kind of based army, huh?
Makabakan?
No, like the
Macedonia.
Lethi remind me of
You said macadamia.
yeah, Maca Ma
Macedonia?
Macedonia.
Macedonian, yeah.
Or uh
Macedonian armies. Like the
Macedonia
Lethi, the culture reminds me of that culture.
of Greece.
Yeah, Northern Greece. Late Northern Greece.
They
But
seem
yeah,
more they seem a lot very Roman to me.
they remind me more of like uh oh my God, Alexander the Great's dad. Why can't I remember his name?
Philip the Great.
Philip. It is Philip the Great. I
Yes.
was wanted to say Philip the Great, but I was like, no, that Philip the Great's like a czar or some shit. No, okay. Yeah, they remind me of just that. Like just we are
I was
strong,
gonna guess
strong.
Alexander the Greater.
Yeah. I know because I listened to a 3-hour hardcore history podcast about Alexander the Great. That Alexander the Great only shows up in the last 10 minutes because it's all about Philip the Great.
His
His
dad's
dad.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
His dad set it up
but
and then
that's
died.
funny.
That's interesting.
His
The
dad
the
set up the
last
super army and then died.
the
Yeah.
last thing I like about this chapter and then later on is uh Renarin's use of the power. And he creates the safe rooms,
Yeah.
um, which are nice.
Yeah.
I almost want to make a joke about like it's not, but no. Like, like oh he's making safe space. But
Yeah. Ha ha ha.
it is cool. It is very cool that he could do that.
Yeah.
But really, like I'm liking this book because we're actually getting to see Renarin's powers in action. Not just,
I
oh,
didn't know if it was his powers or if his Spren was helping him do it. I mean, it's his guess is the same thing, but I found it more like it was his Spren helping him out, making the safe space.
Yeah, I think it is the Enlightened Spren that are doing it. Um,
Through like using him as a conduit, basically.
yeah, the pattern in Testament, I mean Testament's a dead eye, but pattern cannot do it as far as I know. I think it is uh the Enlightened Spren have some type of ability that comes from the Unmade, and like Ja'anat and Ba'ado Mishram are like sisters. So whatever they do, um, and I think they are Spren that were there before like Odium and Honor. I think that's what we're gonna find out.
Makes sense.
Uh,
They're like so so we have wind and stones. Now we just need fire and water. So that's what they are.
Well,
well, we have
they're
Windstone and
they're
Night.
Spren. I mean, they're Miss Spren, so they are
No,
water.
I meant Ja, not and
Uh,
Baudu Mishra for going Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
All right.
Chapter 45.
Yeah.
45.
Self mastery and control. Kaladin Seth. They go to a monastery in Shinovar. There's a fort there. They've been getting raided by other towns. Seems to have not been affected by the Unmade. They go and find a dead lady and get her shard blade, honor blade. Um Kaladin's like, you need to fight against your evil thoughts. And he's like, okay, maybe. And the Sprint's like, that's dumb. And Seth is like, yeah, that's pretty dumb. Yep. Then they're gonna go get some more honor blades. That's kind of it.
I am reading.
I,
I mean, I skipped over some stuff, but it's like,
No, no. Yeah, I'm reading all my notes, which I usually do when you go over, but you usually go over way more. But it's fun. It's fun.
it's because
so
the Seth Kaladin stuff I don't care about at all. I still
I want I want to say overall, this is clever as hell because like it instantly changes the formula that was presumed to be in the previous thing where it's like, oh, they have what, like seven shards or seven swords they gotta go get. There's seven chapters left. They have top, one for each one. But now they're like, no, here's one free. He's not doing this fight, which is cool because you can kind of already know what the fight's going to look. It's not the most interesting one. And I like the world building of it, if that makes sense, to show like, oh no, this other person straight up sacrificed themselves to protect these people to not like, I don't know, I like that. Like it shows it's not just all bleak out there where this is a true struggle that people are struggling. There are good, there are bad, lines in the sand are being drawn, people are sacrificing themselves. The world's bigger than just what we read in the chapters.
Kind of like a Marsh fighting against Ruin in his head type.
Yeah, kind of like there's stuff happening that we don't even know about. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, we get these little details that other pieces on the board are moving,
sure.
not just all against us or not all against the good guys. It's like, no, there's some going good, there's some bad, there's stories that are only hinted at. I don't know. I like that in books. It makes the world feel bigger and more full, more complete.
I made a note here that so last episode Chris mentioned uh that you're like Kaladin just went through some stuff and you should be like, hey, I just went through these things and this is how I got over it. And Kaladin did this exact thing with Seth in this chapter where he's like, I have to constantly have my good voice battle my bad voice in my head. And
Do y'all do that too?
No.
Like I have that all the freaking time where I have a thought and then I have to force myself a thought against it to make it go away. Or like if I message people and they don't message me back, I don't think to myself, I'm like, oh, they're angry at me. I'm like, oh no, no, it's just people are busy. It's cool. Like they might have saw the
you're
message.
not alone in that. Justin's just a weirdo.
Well, yeah, Justin just doesn't message back.
Yeah. He's just like,
Yeah.
I do that constant. I have a constant voice that's running like counter to my immediate thoughts. That's trying to rationalize everything and be like, not that serious, yo. Like,
Is that an ADD thing?
I don't know. Ah, my light. I have a very dark spot on this corner, so I'm trying to brighten my face.
I I have a few other notes before we move on to the next one. I like of course, the chapter title refers to Dustbringers, um, practicing self-mastery and control. The use of division, Seth's use of division at the rooftop, where he makes it think that it's many small stones and then punches it so they break apart, was really fun and unique.
So I have division seems to be like the ruin form of soul casting.
You're not one thing, you're many things. You do this and break yourself apart.
I mean, I get, hey, division, it works,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the other thing that I thought was really hilarious was Seth accusing Kaladin and everybody in the East of stealing everything from the Shen. Like he said, horses, hogs, chickens, social graces, uh, I, uh, manners. For some reason, it says managers. I don't think it's managers. I think it's manners and philosophy.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm typing on my iPad, sometimes hits wrong buttons. But that would be funny if they stole managers from Shinovar. Um, and Shinovar just doesn't have uh, well-managed restaurants anymore. They had the best managed restaurants, and then the East stole all their managers. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's not my favorite storyline, but hopefully it'll get interesting.
I'm
I like it a
I
lot.
am digging Seth's storyline. Kaladin's there for the journey, and I like that he's not sad boy Kaladin. He's more like, no, I got this, man. Like he is on the side cheering on Seth, and that's kind of cool. Like
And
it's different.
and Justin predicted day four, Kaladin would become a sad boy, and I have to say, not only were you wrong, but it was
You're very
completely opposite.
he
He
was
became
he-
happy
happy.
Kaladin.
I have opinions on that chapter.
Yeah, we're
We will get there.
yeah, that chapter's
But do you have any
yeah,
more on this chapter?
No,
no.
Hmm.
Um,
Alaswa,
Alaswa
whatever
46.
the fuck that is.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Before we start on this, I just gotta ask. I don't remember who it was, but I remember on the podcast during book three, during Delinar's flashback, that was book three, right? Book four?
He has them all the time. Oh wait, book three. It would be book three. His actual flashback.
Yeah, that's what I thought was his flashbacks.
Yeah,
Someone called out that that beggar is totally a herald.
Yeah, we already
yeah,
knew that.
we already knew that.
Oh, we did know that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Left me in the A. I didn't realize that. I must have missed that detail. Because I was had in my first notes, someone freaking called it about the beggar.
yeah.
yeah,
That's why Moash kills him. And
yeah. Boash went and killed him.
Ah, yeah, that's right. I guess I didn't link the. Yeah, okay. I
Yeah.
didn't link that the beggar was.
Ahu.
uh, yeah, all right.
yeah, it might have been like a discussion at the time before he knew for realsies.
Yeah, it was a discussion before he was killed, anyway.
Yeah.
And I have theories in this chapter.
All
Oh, yeah?
right. Well, let's get the summary and then.
Yeah. So Navani chapter. These the portal opens, people run out, the sky is burning, all this crazy shit. Uh, there there's yeah, they go like try to talk to people and stuff, but they can't actually communicate with them really. There's no wagons, so that's something interesting.
Don't they have carts that are pulled by dogs? Or like
Mm,
sleds?
maybe.
Or do they have mules? Like pack
They
mules?
have some kind of animal, which I think is a mule or a donkey,
Yeah,
because it's talked about like a smaller horse.
smaller horse. But they
Which
could have been a dog.
it could have been a large dog, but my money's on. Like if they had the other farm animals, it's a mule or a donkey or something like that.
Yeah, they see three heralds, Ash and her father and Ishi, right?
Jezrien, Chanarash, and Ash.
Yeah, and they're like looking for stuff, and then they meet Wit, and Wit's like, "I'm a construct. Oh my god, blah." And he like doesn't talk. And that's kind of it.
All right. So what seemed to me happen with Wit? Okay, do y'all want Wit first, or do y'all want my theory on Navani thinking that the Vimalan singer is familiar?
It's not Rabonio, I'm pretty sure. I thought it was Spider Bit too.
No, I
Either
thought
one.
at first it was too, but no. Wait, so you want Wit or you want
Might as well go with the
But,
the singer.
Okay,
yeah.
so I think uh this singer is actually Iyatel, a light weaved Iyatel. And why does she sound familiar? Uh because I believe that Yato has been masquerading as one of Navani's aides or engineers. And so I went back to in book four because she would have been there in book four. And so I think I think Iato could very well be Talna, which is the former jeweler that was turned engineer that Navani put in charge of studying anti-light sphere that Navani had gotten from Elhokar. And you might say, well, she got exploded, but she's a light weaver. So who knows if she is still alive, like if she didn't actually die and it is actually Yato. So the jeweler was described as a short woman who is very interested in gemstones. Um, she still studies them, even though she's an engineer now. Um, and this ties into Ayato because the Ghost Bloods want to smuggle light off of Roshar. So she would be looking at gemstones. She was very eager to study the anti-light sphere. She easily earned Navani's trust. And then, of course, if it's true, then she would have faked her death in the explosion. Because in that chapter as well, like Navani is like, "Oh, the bodies are there under a sheet."
Sure.
She didn't actually see the bodies, but
I mean, I got nothing that can refute this. If so, it's very, subtly done.
Sure.
yeah. But I was like thinking, it's like, why? At first, I thought it was Raboniel, but I don't think so. But yeah. Then the other thing about Wit I had is so Dalinar tries to run up to Jezrien to touch him to connect to him, but
Yeah.
he's like, ah, don't touch me. And of course Wit runs up and like he touches Wit, but he says, I think Wit connected to me, and it'd be very interesting and existential if this version, this vision version of Wit actually connected to him and then knows that Dalinar knows Wit in the future, so he glimpses himself in the future, and so that's why he starts to melt because he's like, "Oh, I'm not actually here. I'm a vision, but now I need to like all this stuff in the future is happening." And like because his mind breaks at that point. Like
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
I mean, he has an existential crisis learning. It's like, oh, well, I'm not real.
right. So
Okay.
like,
Have y'all ever watched, I know y'all never had. There's this episode of Adventure Time where Jake gets cursed and he's really hungry and he takes a nap and he like wakes up and because he can like mold his body into anything. And he has somehow like made a hole in his stomach and then like went into his stomach and he's walking around a city in his stomach, not realizing where he's at. So it's like this cavity that he created, this whole world that he creates. And there's buildings, there's people, there's all kinds of things. And he's trying to figure out like what's going on because there keeps being these earthquakes that are like stuff is falling down and stuff's not operating right. And someone has a theory that he is that like it's like Jake, you are a god of this world, and when you leave, the world will be gone. And then like one of them gets and like figures out what's going on, and he's like, "Oh my God, like I'm not real. I'm just part of you. You're this god." Like, like it's that kind of like existential, just full breakdown of like, I'm not real. None of this is real. Holy balls. You're real. You're on a super task from me in the future, but I'm not real.
yeah.
Hmm. I am just a thought of a thought of a thought.
Did you see what I did there? I did adjusting.
Oh, well, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I love that existential kind of stuff where it's just like, ah,
I mean, I can't refute any of your stuff, so I don't really have anything else to say about it. I mean, I guess that would be cool. I forgot that lady exists. And, yeah, wit's the thing. I kind of think it was like maybe since he's a god, he's like always partially in the spiritual realm, so that's why he broke himself. Instead of like this time travel stuff, but it could be time
well,
travel.
I don't think it's time travel as much as he is.
Well, Brandon was saying time travel.
Oh, I don't think it's time travel as much as he is so invested that like, and he's so like connected to the spirit world that even visions of him, they because like the idea is like a vision, the person in that thing will have to act like that person. They can't make it perfect, so they make it almost like a miniature AI version of you in that vision. You know what I mean? Like Jezreel's not really there. It's like this is a representation of what Jezreel is and like what happened. So when you interact with him, you're not interacting with Jezreel or Jezreel, and you're acting with what he should act like, what he
Yes.
would act like.
Right.
But Wit
That's what I'm saying.
so yeah, like Wit is so insanely powerful that even a fraction down version of him can instantly recognize, holy crap, I'm not real.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's just cool
But
as
Brandon
hell.
was saying he since he saw Dalinar in the past, he was doing
I think he
set
was
up
saying
this
more like
entire.
since he connected to
No,
Dalinar,
no, no,
he
no.
could
It
see
didn't set up.
himself in the future and realize, holy crap, I'm not real. That's me, really me.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Wit in the future knew that this event happened. I'm saying this pocket dimension Wit, who isn't actually real, but they have some semblance of autonomy and thought,
Yeah,
goes in power and goes and connects to Dalinar, and
yeah,
then finds out that Dalinar knows Wit from the future,
Like the real Wit.
the real Wit, and goes,
yeah,
"Oh fuck, like I'm not real, but whoever I'm supposed to be lived for another 7,000 years at least at this point." Like
Yeah.
it's just like, oh my
I
God.
I thought you were doing some Assassin's Creed stuff. So spoilers for
Oh,
Assassin's Creed.
Oh no,
You're
no, it
like
was
you get talked to. You're a dude that's living your past memories, and in one of the games, the gods like talk not to Ezio, but to you in in the present. So I mean that could be happening.
in
But
the future.
I thought that's what you're implying.
oh no, it was more of just like this pocket dimension Wit connecting and finding out that who he's representing lives for another 7,000 years, and it's like, oh God, I'm not real. Like he finds out at that moment that he's not real, and just starts to break down in the vision.
Yeah.
Much like when they said if you push the people in the visions too far, they get confused.
Yeah. But like Wit's mind is so insane. It's not just like he doesn't just get confused. He's like,
Oh,
And we also find out that basically this entire thing is storm, like the spiritual realm is just Stormlight.
yeah,
It's interesting.
investiture. Yeah,
do we know if they I mean, I guess Shallan uses her power. Dalinar can't can Dalinar use any of his bondsmith powers that we know of?
I mean, he only really tries the perpendicularity.
And he never gets a chance to try to connect to anyone to talk.
he tried to, but Wit connected
Yeah,
to him first.
yeah.
I assume he could use his surges,
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
considering everyone else can.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. 47 failure points. Adolin and Sigil. Adolin is fighting. They've constructed the singers have constructed like a fort within the dome to bring in more troops. They're trying to like break it, but then they're able to like soul cast it to bronze, so they can't catch no fire. And then they like try to go.
Chris
Uh,
called that.
they try to go like
Got in the notes.
take the thing by force, but it'd be like too costly, so they like pull back. Um, And then they're like, "You need to go to sleep," and he goes to sleep. We get some discussion on like tactics and like how to like stagger your shard plate so it's always in use, which makes sense. Then we go to Sigil. They're talking strategy on the for the Shattered Plains. Yeah, they're gonna like basically spread out their force instead of concentrating on the two main planes. They're gonna spread them out, but like have points of failure, which is the title. It's like be able to fall back, basically delaying tactics instead of just letting the enemy come all the way to them and then having a big climactic battle. They're gonna like tower defense it and make it like fall back so they can yeah um do that, and that's kind of what they're gonna do because they win by have time is on their side, so they're gonna be delayed. And that's kind of
Yeah, I enjoyed so not much with the Adolin section here. He gets to use the a shard hammer, um, which is cool, and then the soul casting, which Chris called last time. Interesting they used Adolin is like, yeah, they probably used shit to as the paste between the pieces of wood to make them all soul cast together and stick together. Um, but with Sigil, his I like his Spren because his Spren is more of like a cryptic, so it's more mathematical and is embarrassed to be as such, much like an Alethi man, or how all the Alethi men are embarrassed when a man can read.
They're like, oh, I'm not watching this.
Yeah, but Vance is like, no, I don't want people to know that I'm this. And so Sigil was like, yeah, I'm this smart. I can crunch these numbers. And of course, everybody's like, wow, you're great at this, which helps bolster their belief in him as a leader. So good for Sigil. And Sigil and Leighton have a very buddy buddy moment, um, which makes me believe that Leighton is going to die. One of the few remaining Bridge 4 members.
I could see Sigil dying.
You know who I think's gonna die? He's
Uh,
such a good guy.
I don't think anyone's gonna die.
Adolin's not going to die. I got theories on that too.
I got theories. I got theories where he doesn't die, but I got theories where he dies too. So and I'm at this far, I'm in. You know what I mean? In for a penny,
Yeah.
in for a pound. But I do love the way Aelin like had to like coax his. This is a chapter where he had to coax his armor, right? To be like, no, it's okay.
Was it when yeah, Reap, yeah, when he t gives the armor to Reap, he felt it like resist a little bit.
Yeah,
And so
he's
he's
like,
like,
no,
yeah, I gotta talk to
I'll be
him.
back. Yeah, something's definitely gonna go down with all that. Like, it's too much mention of it.
He's probably
Mount,
like, hey, don't worry, he's not gonna jizz in you. It's okay. Or
Mount
he's not gonna
note in
shit in
this
you either.
is do y'all get the impression, like, because I didn't get the impression when I read it the first time, but when I was listening to it the second time, I got this impression that Kolot isn't just what he says he is. Like there's something more to him. Like nothing nefarious. Nothing nefarious.
I mean,
But like
you mean a dude that suddenly showed up and has lots of named playing time has a secret thing? I
not a secret thing, like he is not Kolot. He's someone else. I don't know who yet.
think he's like a light weaved person
Maybe?
or a Khandra. That'd be the only two things. I don't know. I think they're just.
Um,
I think they needed more
they
people.
needed someone there with him.
They needed somebody to die heroically saving Adolin, which is gonna be him.
I can see that.
Well, I mean, it's ahead, but you know what? I'll wait till the chapter. I'll wait till the
Yeah.
chapter to get my theory on that.
I
I'm
mean,
done.
I don't think they're gonna be too mysterious people when you have Hamask or whatever the fuck. who's like some
Yeah.
other weird dude. Like they can't have like 17 weird dudes.
Yeah.
Hey, they had like 16 different secret societies in book 2.
That is true. I think Hamask is gonna turn out to be some dude. Like, I don't know. He's freaking
A good dude.
he's like Breeze or some shit.
Breeze is way too fat and old.
I know. I was trying to think of a dude from another book.
Just think of a dude.
Yeah.
Do
Breeze.
it.
He's Hammond, but
Hey,
somehow they found out how pewter makes you live longer.
yeah, he's Hammond.
He could totally be a guy from
I don't know
Elantris.
Arrow too. Huh?
Elantris.
I know nothing of Elantris.
He's something.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so that's why I think I agree, but I've also been burned on May Aladar, but so we'll see. Maybe they'll both show up and be something nefarious. Uh, yeah, of
Is May Aladar gonna get a Spren?
course.
Of course. I mean, I'm down for it.
Yeah.
All right.
48 a talent. This is a short Seth flashback. Seth is like, "Oh my God, I kill people," and the farmer's like, "Yeah, you kill people. You're gonna be a soldier now." And Seth is like, "Okay, I don't want to be a soldier," but they're like, "You have to," and the family's like, "All right, we're all gonna be soldiers," and he's like, "No," and that's it.
And his sister, he feels like his sister resents him.
Which she should.
Yeah. That's my only note in this chapter is what the I understand like I have like I only have one kid, and if my one kid got thrown into something like that and I could join them, I probably would. I'd be like, all right, we're all going together. Or at least I'm going.
The
But if I had
only
other kids and stuff, then it would be like I'm gonna sacrifice all y'all for this one, you know what I mean?
No, they did allow Elid the opportunity to go with her cousins.
Yes, they said if you were a kid and your parents are like, "Hey, we're gonna go off and blow. We're gonna leave our home. You have to leave your home also. Everything you know and did is gone, and you're gonna go live with your cousins because we're all gonna go up here and be with your sibling. You can join us if you want, or you can go off by yourself and we'll abandon you there. Either way, I mean, they kind of were like, "Hey, we're gonna blow up your life for your siblings."
yeah, the only other interesting thing is how it parallels Kaladin's journey with he being the one to volunteer for his brother, where Seth, his family volunteers for him.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yay.
But then,
And I have a note somewhere that Seth's father it stands up for Seth. Like the Seth's father loves Seth, and Liren loves Kaladin, but they show it in completely different ways and support in different ways. But then also one other thing to note, a voice speaks to Seth and says, "We watch you, Seth. We are curious."
Yeah.
And we do. At first, I thought this could have been his Sprennemi, but it's not.
I kind of have a theory. I kind of think Seth might have two sprints, like Shallan. Because
that's a cool theory.
yeah,
I don't agree with it,
I
but I
mean,
like it. I got
this
nothing
could
to-
just be the unmade, but just because it'd be very uninteresting if it's just like, oh, your high sprint sucks, and they all kind of suck, which we find out later in this thing. So I think it might be like that might be a little red herring or something. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We know
But
it's
yeah,
a Spren. It
Yeah.
says it's the Spren of the stone that he had.
yeah,
It could also be lying.
It could be, but
yeah.
Spren don't lie.
Yeah, but Ruin does.
Ruin's not a Spren.
Yeah.
I know. Ruin could lie and say, I am a Spren.
Well, Ruin's on Mistborn
Ruin
now.
is not here.
I know Ruin's not there, but that you know what I'm
Ruin
saying.
is no longer capable of acting independently either.
I am aware of this.
Okay.
I do not think it's Ruin.
So you
I
think
am
it's
just giving the example that in the Cosmere there are entities besides Sprins that speak to people's brains,
true?
Very
and
true.
they have been known to lie.
Like it could have been Odium. I don't think it's that interesting if it's Odium since he's dead now. Um,
You know, I don't think that Odium was that sly,
No.
that delicate.
maybe it's fucking cultivation again. She's like, "What's up?"
I'm just gonna do things.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just gonna,
right?
just gonna do things. But yeah, I mean, I think what it's pointing to is it's probably this unmade. It's always been in Shinobar, but I just had a thought that it could have maybe has two sprints. That's like why he's so powerful. Because we know
I
how.
don't like that idea, but I hope you're right.
I could see it. I could see it happening.
Yeah.
And I
Uh,
think I could definitely see it happening. And the fact that we've already been introduced to Shallan having two will make it not that like surprising. Um, that it is possible. Not surprising that it's possible.
yeah.
So
Yeah, we can move on. A realm of possibilities. We got Shalon, some Dalinar. So yeah, Shalon, and all the boys in Sprin go to the Vision with Dalinar. They light weave or she light weaves all of them. She's able to do it without drawing, which is interesting. Um, and she's like, "Hey, y'all suck at being spies, so I'm gonna be a spy. Don't draw attention." And she's also able to do the rhythms pretty perfectly, but she's only able to imitate Verlaine's like rhythms and stuff. But he's pretty surprised about that. And she basically goes,
that harkens back to I forget who said it. It might have been Wit, where it's like she was surprised, like, you mean I can light weave sounds? And they're like, yeah. And so this is like a manifestation of that.
yeah. She is like, I need a reason to stay near Dalinar so I can like watch for the ghost blood. So I'm gonna go over here to this like mule that's being unruly. Oh wait, that's a perfect reason for the real mule to be unruly is where it's because Moraes is there and he's doing the same exact thing. And then they like fight. And then
She tries to summon her armor,
yeah.
and it appears as a bunch of tiny knives. It's like other Shallan, and like almost
Yeah.
blows.
And then
Yeah.
Formless appears and like, what's up? And she's like, "Oh my God, Formless."
The last line was in this section was she let herself be pulled into the mists of the future.
Yeah. And
Very strange.
yeah, their ruckus kind of causes this vision to dissipate. We get some Stormfather and Dalinar. We get some history lessons of some animals. They had dogs, the dogs died. They had parrots survived. They had rats survived.
Rat's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah. And
The minks survived too.
yeah, minks. We see the parrots arrive on Roshar, and Stormfather's like, "You shouldn't do this. I could send you back," but and then he uh Donna refuses to be sent back, and that's kind
And it's like, you must simmer in your stew.
I don't know who's worse, Cultivation or the Stormfather.
they both
They're
got it.
both
They're both
aggravating as
terrible.
hell.
Cultivation because she's an actual god.
Yeah, Stormfather.
I know that they have like rules or whatever, even though they're very vague. But she could probably be doing more.
So I have in my notes going back and forth whether or not the Stormfather was better with a better fit for or Gavinar or yeah, Dalinar.
Dalinar or Davalar.
Gavilar, yeah. Because like I was just like, well, he's a bit of an ass. Just like Dalinar. But they're both stubborn as hell, which is very Dalinar.
Yeah.
Well, we
But I feel like
know it would
Mhm.
be Gavilar because he actually told him shit.
Yeah, it's true.
It took like 5 books and like, well, I guess we don't know how long he had him or whatever. And he was never bonded to Gavilar.
Not only
Yeah.
that, like with Dalinar, there wasn't like the world's ending, yet he still told him stuff. And now the world's ending, and I'm like, I don't want to tell you things. It's like, what the man? It's literally
It's,
counting in
it's because
days.
it's because this like secret that they've been teasing about is so bad. It's probably gonna be something stupid.
I It'd be hilarious if it's something so insignificant.
I mean, we
Like,
still don't. We
we
still.
forgot we forgot the formal hello before we greeted you.
I mean, we don't know what caused the recreant. Still, I'm assuming that's what
Oh
we're
yeah.
gonna find out. And
Oh
like
yeah.
maybe
They have
they.
so many. That is a note I have in here is the stuff with Shalon. It's not that I hate it. It's that we're well into book five, which is I mean, it's kind of a finale book in a way.
Yeah.
A giant freaking fantasy novel. We are almost 500 pages in. And I know, like, character-wise, like stuff like that, you gotta, some days are good, some days are bad, and that, but like, there is so much left open in this book where
Hmm.
there's so many things I want an answer to, and it just pulls me out of it when I gotta read like like a chapter about something we've already went through. I don't know.
No, I agree.
I get why it's there, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel kind of callous
I
for it,
mean,
but
for me, that's the so far this entire book because nothing. I am a little negative. This is probably so far my least favorite Stormlight book because nothing's happening, and it seems like all this stuff should happen. Nothing's
you
happening.
complain about sad boy Kaladin so much. He gives you happy boy Kaladin. You're like, that's my least favorite book.
Callan's not doing
Wit
anything.
is pointless. Wit has a point. I hate this book.
What has Wit done except impersonate
I
Navani?
really hope soon
And
we get at least one chapter of
we
Wit
have
acting.
we have to.
We have to. It's too good.
Yeah, or Lift acting like Navani.
They both have to be there. Oh, all right. So
Yeah.
that's a. But yeah, sorry. I got off topic.
So,
Guess it was Justin.
one quote I
Yeah.
have here, which I don't know exactly what it meant, is just, it refers to Stormfather and Dalinar. The moment of connection between them, of understanding as had happened occasionally during their time together, evaporated. Like, is that just like Stormfather is pulling away because of his uh displeasure?
Yeah, we've seen that happen before.
Okay.
That's what I took it as. Like they have these like times where they can like stop time for Kaladin and stuff, and then like they have times where they're like pissed off at
Like
each
when
other.
he's like in earlier on when he got into an argument with the Stormfather and he kept growing bigger to match the Stormfather, it's kind of like a vision. They kind of do that because it brings them almost into the spirit, like not the actual spiritual realm, but like kind of a vision-ish like it, and then it goes away and then it disappears. Well, this way he can't really just disappear from it, but he can just him disappear. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
peace out.
And then the other piece that we get in the world building, we find out that I might have mentioned it earlier, but the wind, stone, and night are pieces of the god who created Roshar. But they left when the humans came and they adapted poorly and feared the storm. So like they left because the humans didn't adapt properly, which is weird.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
gotta explain some of this stuff, man.
I mean, if they're like Spren, then the humans' thoughts about them would change them and make them leave, right? It's kind of what it's saying.
Yeah.
Like 800 more pages. They got some explaining to do.
Yeah, I will say this stuff is cool. I wish it was introduced in an earlier book. I get that like they basically done new big sprint every book, but I don't know. Do you think that giant whale is gonna come back in the interlude book one?
I would hope so.
Yeah,
It's cool.
it is cool.
It's
But
gonna be
yeah,
an interlude in the next like book 6 or something. Or book 7, there'll be an interlude. People will be like, "What's this giant well?" Then other people will be like, "That's it, just an Easter egg."
do you think that's the night, or do you think it's one of the three?
I think it was just an Easter egg because it was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm with him. Just to establish that Axis the collector likes to observe
Yeah, they did say it was
spread of all
a
time.
unique sprint. Nobody knows about.
Kusakish or whatever his
Yeah,
name
it
was.
was protecting that one city. I forgot the name of.
Yeah.
Okay, 50. Price of Peace. Navani,
And Adolin.
and Aelin. She's we get a little bit about like her father, which maybe
She,
may or may not come back up.
he asked her to write his biography.
Yeah.
Um,
She's like, nope, I'm too busy. Um
That was
yeah.
funny that he specifically stated, include the vulgar insult to the man who stabbed me.
Yeah. Um yeah, basically they talk a little bit of wit. We get more of like the wit being like I am not real stuff. And then she gets a ribbon from Ash so they can like try to go to the Oath Pact summoning um before the vision disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you think the connection that she was feeling to somebody, do you think that was Renarin, Relaine, or Shallan?
Renarin. That's his kid. That's her kid. That
Not
has to be the strongest
that's
connection.
not her
No,
kid.
I mean, not
that's her
really.
nephew.
I mean, it's her nephew. Yeah, sorry. It's blood. It is that close. Like it's connection. That's what I'm thinking. Because it definitely isn't Relaine. Because it doesn't like she's closer with other people than Relaine. I don't think it's Shallan.
I mean, she got kind of a little bit close to Relaine in book 4.
Yeah, but not.
Yeah, I mean it's probably where I'm trying to look it up.
It was early in the chapter.
My note for this is I try not to cuss on this podcast, but there's no other way to say this. My God, Dalinar would be so fucked without Navani. I'm glad she's not just getting in arguments with Sprin and just stomping around doing things. She's actually like, huh, okay, I'm listening to you. Okay, what do I do? Like,
I mean it could be the Irathira, the tower, the sibling. She still felt connected to something, someone out there. It was same sensations she felt when she was searching for Dalinar. So I don't think
She's
so,
not
but
able to contact the sibling.
sure, but she's still bonded to it.
I think she would know that was that connection.
Sure.
I think the fact that they included like she did with Dalinar.
Okay. Actually, I have a theory.
Ooh,
I think it's Elhokar.
That, yeah,
Or no, it's either that or it's fucking the little kid.
Gavilar
Yeah,
or Gavinor.
Gavinor.
could be Gavinor.
It's one of those two.
Oh yeah, Gavinor's in here doing something. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, totally gonna show up as like a full-grown man, Jumanji style. Just
Yeah. Basically. Gonna be pretty cool.
he's gonna become like the Silver Surfer, but he surfs through the spirit realm.
I am the Herald of Odium.
Yeah, like some. Oh my God, if he came back as a grown like man, an ancient being who is fully invested and is of Odium, and
Uh,
he is the big bad, like he is the person you have to face.
so Dalinar has to fight him to win.
Yeah, Downer created him.
Be pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. Then we get some Adolin. We learn that there's a mysterious force that's delaying the army. y'all have any ideas on what that could be?
Mysterious force, dot, dot, dot. They are all totally gonna die. That's my notes.
So no idea what this
No
mysterious
idea.
force could be.
Well, I mean, um, two of the wind runners went off, right? Two of the no, not wind runners, heavenly ones
Yeah.
escaped from at Azamir on one in the first
The
battle.
first assault.
Yeah, the first assault.
Yeah.
They got away. We know that Odium is using L for stuff.
Thought he was gonna go to the Shattered Plains.
He's going to the Shadow Plains. Well, actually, he was going to I thought he was first going to the Horneater Peaks to go to the Perpendicular there, and then he was going to go to the Shadow Plains. He was going to pull some Daenerys
Yeah.
dragon super flying speed of sound.
Yeah.
Ah,
But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other like mysterious force that could be interesting for it to be. It's not the Ghost Bloods, but it'd be kind of funny. But yeah, so yeah, they're gonna like it's gonna be like like 3 or 4 more days or something like that.
okay, I do not think it's this, but how cool would it be if the people that are at the Shattered Plains are just regular forces mixed in with all their light weavers to make them look like they're all like not Regals. What's the
Fuse?
super huh?
Fuse.
Infused, yeah, the fuse. So it makes them look like they're all fused. And they do have some fused mixed in, but most of the fused are going to go. Like the fused are actually they're attacking that force and they're gonna come and just finish off Azimir. I don't believe that's what's happening, but it could. And then
It's
yeah,
a
it may get
possibility.
stuck. Last man standing.
Yeah, I don't
Sticking
know.
with us there.
I don't really know what if his goal is to get all of that really accomplishes it. We'll see. But yeah, then he goes and visits the injured people and meets the heralds. The heralds don't do anything. And then they're like he gets some stuff that like they're gonna now start wearing them down by doing like the rhythm of the battles, like like every other hour or something there's an attack. So they're gonna start like changing up the rhythm to throw them off guard so they can never rest to wear the troops down. And he's like, yeah, that's gonna happen. And that's gonna happen.
Yeah, so he when nothing really comes of the heralds, but he goes and meets Ash and talks to Ash while Talonat is just muttering his craziness. But Ash asks her is like, "Are y'all worth it?" Um, and then we get the Truth Watcher Rahel. Um, she was she's like, Ash won't let me try to heal that man. Talking about Talonat.
Yeah.
And at first I was confused when I first read it. I was like, "Who the fuck is she talking about?" I was like, "Oh wait, okay." Um, and he's like, he can't be healed anyway." Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And then at the end, so this is where first started to be like, why is all these people's names like Adolin is bent on learning people's names. Um, so like it's either he cares for anybody near him or these people are gonna become important at some point because we got Makana here, who's a messenger. But
He's just doing his best Randolph or impression.
I need to know these names.
Need to know his names.
Good point.
Yeah. But yeah, there's that. Maybe one day the Heralds will do something.
No.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, one of them does something, but she's working for Odium.
True.
Her and Kalak have done the most so far. And Nishi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really helping out the gang much, are they?
No.
No.
Come back, kind of, but everyone else has been like, yeah, screw it.
Chapter
Yeah. 52. A perfect
50,
moment.
51.
51.
51. Sorry. Scroll down.
Yes.
Scroll down. So Seth flashback. They go to get trained, and the voice tells them to just stab because they're like testing aggression or something. So he just stabs, and that's that.
I gotta ask y'all, if y'all were 13 years old, given a spear at like a camp, like a summer camp, and they gave you a spear and they're like, we want you to just go stab this thing like it's an enemy. Would y'all go ham on it? Like just start going?
Like a corpse. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know, like a a pig body that's strung up and they're like, hey, we just want to see how good you are at stabbing things. Go stab it.
Probably stab. I mean, I'll stab it.
I'd stab it like a maniac. I'd be like, ha ha, 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 like I'm 12 years old. I think it's
I
the
have
funniest thing
no
in the
clue.
world. Huh?
I don't know.
I can tell you right now, I'd be like, yeah.
So, Justin, I wanted to tell you
Nice.
this over the weekend, but you hadn't gotten to this part yet, and
Yeah.
didn't want to discuss. Uh, but ironically, so here at this, the only thing I was going to talk is the when his mom gives him a piece of Molly's wool at the beginning that comforts him. Uh, the morning we left for CoastCon, Jules came up and she gave me this little ball or egg that she crocheted and stuffed with like batting. So it's this little fluffy thing. And I kept it in my pocket the whole con. So like anytime I grabbed my phone, I touched it and I just remembered my daughter. I was like, that's exactly what his mom did. So yeah, that was that. I
But
do yeah, I already mentioned I like Seth's dad. It's kind of the opposite personality of Liren. Um, and it gives that nice juxtaposition of the families. So it's not just Kaladin and Seth, they're juxtaposed, but their entire families are.
yeah.
Again, I just want to point out how everyone else that Shin seems to be more mentally stable than Seth. If that makes sense. Like less rigid in their thinking.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I just want to put that out there. Like example after example. I was just like, oh. But
Yeah,
yeah,
not wrong.
Yeah.
that's all I got.
Okay, we can move on to 52, a perfect moment, like I said earlier. Aelin and Kaladin chapters. Aelin is training Yanagan with some shard plate. Um we've already seen EA's teaching them to do it. Didn't they like do some tactics training? And Adolin gets first name privileges with Cox. Yeah, there's that. Setting up for when Cox gets killed is gonna be very sad.
That's my backup scenario.
Yeah.
I
Either
don't
way,
think he dies either.
the Asia's it's they're going to lose and their empire is going to shatter. That's
Maybe.
I think
I think they're gonna win, but Cox is gonna die. I'm pretty sure I've already said it, but I'm pretty sure Maya is gonna come back with all the honor the eyeless guys. And
Dead
then
eyes.
the dead eyes, and then they're all gonna have like shard plate and fucking because they're all gonna be like warrior radiance or something with no oaths. Because that's what they're setting up. and they're gonna
What's
like
Unbounded are scary though.
yeah they're gonna have like 200. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna have surges, but maybe. And then they're gonna like destroy the army at the last minute. But probably either Gox or Kolat are gonna like sacrifice themselves. That is my
I don't think it's Gox. And I made a note later on. I really think what's happening is it's setting up one. Adolin is learning from Gox. Gox is learning from Adolin. And so I'll scroll down to read this right now anyway. Let's see here. So I think uh with Adolin teaching strategy and plate and blade to Yanagon, I feel like by the end of the book, not only will Adolin be alive, I think Yasna is going to die. Adolin is going to take up the crown of Alethkar. Yanagon will be a close ally and friend with Adolin, and there will be a new global law that states that Radiants can't be rulers of nations except Urithiru. And Yanagon will be responsible for convincing Adolin to pick up the crown. So Adolin is going to take the crown because Yanagon convinces him to. Either that or Justin is right, and Adolin will become a Radiant and then take up the crown of Urithiru.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
still
think
think he's gonna
I don't,
die.
I
I
don't think
think
he'll become king, but
I think Yanagal is gonna get, or Gox is gonna get so fanboyish, I guess is a good way to say it, of the big space marine in giant armor. And he's gonna see Adolin out there fighting on the front line. He's gonna eventually like push to watch the fighting. Then he's gonna get in the armor and like be in the background. And then next thing you know, he's gonna get into the fight. He's gonna face Abadai. Abadai's gonna challenge him to a duel. And the only way to stop it is Adolin somehow intervenes and faces Abadai, but for some reason he's either previously just wounded or something like that, and he loses.
maybe.
That's
I don't know. I think the death flags are definitely flying for Gox when the
it's one of them. They're death flags there. It might be Gox instead of
he,
Adolin, but
Alien can't die until whatever the Maya Chekhov's gun happens. So if he's
yeah,
gonna die
I agree
after
that
that.
it can happen, but it can also she gets there just too late, or she gets there
No,
and
he's setting up an epic moment. These books are not like depressing.
God. I mean,
This is not Game of
you're
Thrones.
historically right, but I would
Yeah.
like it to be.
Sure. I think it's gonna be Gox because like the girl's like, we can't lose the he's like actually a good king, blah 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 blah. He has 2 days till retirement. I'm
No,
pretty
I
But
sure.
she
already have too
said
many
she
edits.
would die for him, so she's going to die instead
Yeah.
of Gox.
She's
Yeah.
gonna live in misery, knowing it.
Yeah, then we get a
He's gonna be in the armor. Adolin's going to think that Gox is dead, but it's gonna end up being Nora.
or it's gonna be
Rest in
that
peace,
or
Nora.
it's gonna be that other random dude that appeared who was
Do
like,
y'all know the history of
wait, what about that random dude?
Achilles?
Huh?
Why Achilles hated Hector so much?
Hector?
Y'all know this?
No.
No.
So Achilles, was like the greatest warrior ever, and for the Greeks, and
Um,
Hector was the best for the Trojans. And they never actually faced in combat till like he just like was like, no, you come here and fight me. And the reason was is because they were having like money issues or something. Like he just wasn't like Achilles just wasn't fighting. And his it was his lover was like, you need to get out there and inspire the troops, even if you're like not getting paid and stuff, you know? And he put on Achilles' armor and went out there on the front lines to inspire the troops. And Hector, thinking it was Achilles, challenged him and fought him and killed him. And Achilles got so angry that he went and just slaughtered Hector, drove his body around, something like that. We do have two duelists and a matching thing of armor and someone who probably can't do the fighting in case, I don't know, they could do something like that. Play upon classic literature
maybe.
like Gox puts on Adolin's armor without Adolin, like Adolin's in one of his times where he's supposed to be resting and Gox puts it on and pretends to be Adolin to go out there and fight, then gets killed by Abadai, and you know,
Maybe.
then Adolin goes on like a fucking murder rampage
Uh,
or something like that. Maybe not even that part. Maybe just that's how Gox dies, thinking he impersonating Adolin.
I don't think he's that. So yes, the problem with this book is it's only 10 days long. He
Yeah.
literally just gotten the shard plate.
Yeah.
So like that's the problem with this book. Like that can't logically happen unless like this was set up like books ago. Because
Yeah.
the time is so compressed.
Logically, it can happen, but it's still they are they are pushing the narrative that he is a very quick learner. He still might try to just walk out there and
Sure. That'd be
yeah.
dumb. Do you think that this random ass guard is somebody important?
No.
That's
Too
his.
many-
That's Cushcam's son, isn't it?
I don't know. It's just this friendly guard that like knows how to do sharp plate and knows the best card games and shit.
Oh, yeah, it's Kushka's son. It's just a
That's
cool kid.
Cushcam's son because
Is he?
he asked Nora
Yeah.
later on, like,
Who was that?
and she was like, "Oh, that's Cushcam's son."
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Who I don't know who is Geb. Who is Geb? Geb.
That's like his second in command or out Adolin's. It's one of Adolin's dudes. Now we get a really weird scene with Kaladin.
I thought this was the most beautiful scene in any of the Stormlight books.
it gets my theory is getting closer to reality. Did you get
It seemed very intimate to me.
Yes. He also calls her a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
I think my theory is gonna be correct.
I think it is too, Justin. I'm very upset about it.
Anyway, they like Kaladin
I'm
practices.
upset about it not because it was like Kaladin falling in love with this being, but it was specifically Kaladin falling in love with the weapon version of this being.
She turns into a lady sometimes.
When he's doing like martial moves, there's like, ha ha, woman, ha ha, now spear, ha ha, now woman, now spear, oh yeah.
Yeah, so Kaladin's like practicing the flute comes up, back up in a weird way. Practicing the flute, he kind of sucks at it. Then they like want to do a kata. They do a kata. It like summons the wind into the flute and plays some shit. And then they like have a like intimate dance where she's like turning into weapons and a lady, and they're like dancing. And yeah, it was strange. It was well written and stuff, but yeah, I'm pretty sure this is like a little Cortana Master Chief thing, and I think it's hinting to the thing I thought where she's gonna get a physical form.
You might be right. Sadly.
Which would
Maybe.
be
But still, it was beautiful. It was two friends trying to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
friends.
If I'm lucky, my good friend might help me tonight, my wife later on.
Yeah, they were always weapon partners.
We're always weapon partners, and we'll be dancing.
History remembers them as bonded.
It'll be the most beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean it was well written. It just was very like, huh. I specifically remember he calls her a beautiful woman. And I don't remember Kaladin meant like describing her that way specifically. I'm probably wrong, but it stood out to me, and then this happened, and I was like, okay, I see what you're putting down.
Yeah, you were right.
I mean,
I am with
we'll
you.
we'll see, but I kind of feeling that way now.
I would say if it doesn't happen, it's at least hinted at, and your
Yeah.
theory is partially already proven.
Yeah.
I know there are people that ship Kaladin and Syl together.
Yeah, Brandon Sanderson.
Whatever.
The ship is sailing. Then he's like, "Where does Seth go?" And we'll find out next.
Yeah, there was a during Syl and Kaladin's conversation, it can move to the old sprint of Roshar for a bit, where she talks about the wind, the stone, and the night. And we find out that the Night Watcher was formed of the old magic. Um, so it's very, very interesting to me. Still kind of confusing, like not give us the details on this stuff, like just spill it out, tell us something. Like
Yeah.
Sanderson likes to edge you. He's like the master of edging you on things you want to know and find out.
Definitely.
Um, and so yeah, the three were mostly forgotten about, which is why they, as Spren, don't really appear in the books. And then of course Wit did send Spanreed relaying the updates of the other fronts to Kaladin, so he knows about that.
Yeah, and they're still pretending to be the bondsmiths, which we really need
We need a chapter.
POV chapter, but he's not in the next one, which is sad.
Yeah.
So I guess if they say Navani, but it's actually Lift, I would count
I
it.
would be so fine with that.
Yeah. But yeah, and then we get like a little bit more of Adolin bonding with Yamagon, and like how he's like had some pretty decent simple tactics learned, like not getting surrounded and having reserves and stuff. And he's like, "You're gonna be good king," and then there's an attack. He has to go run away. And then we also get probably the biggest thing is like Adolin doesn't like the oaths because it's more the actions behind the oaths than just this like these words. And just he thinks it's kind of bullshit, and it kind of is. So good on Adolin. That's why he's gonna be a radiant without. He's gonna be unbound to radiant. It's gonna be cool.
I loved the mention of the man that took an oath to sit in a chair for 10 years. But he never questioned why. He's just like, I took this oath. I sit in this chair. Um,
Is that specific? Like, do we know who that guy was?
I don't think so.
no,
Okay, I didn't know if that was like another Cosmere thing from like this other world or something like that.
It would be funny if it was just a herald being bored. He's like, sure, I'll do it.
not
Yeah,
sit
why
in a
not?
chair for 10 years.
I'll just take a nap. Like,
I mean, they're not doing anything, so that wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me if they did sit in chairs for 10 years at a time.
mm,
I wonder if Wendell created that chair, though.
Well,
wonder
it'd
if
be
he
in the,
had
it'd be
that.
in the cognitive realm.
I wonder if he collected it in the cognitive realm though.
Could. We get 43 Makari Sin. All right, we get Seth. Seth is like chilling, and then he gets sucked into Shadesmar. He fights two dudes. The Else Caller and the Edge Dancer. Uh, there's a fight. His high sprint sucks. He's like a little bitch boy. Eventually gets Nightblood. Eventually kills the Edge Dancer. The Elskate guy like kills himself and is like, "You're gonna learn how to Elskate." And then Seth was like, "Shit." That's
That confused me so much when he's like, I'll give you a chance. And then he's like, and kills himself. I was like, I thought you were giving him a chance.
Yeah.
Let's give him a chance. He could have just said, "Oh shit, peace," and warped out.
A couple of important things.
Like he
He's
could have just warped out and
insane.
left him. Huh?
It would have accomplished the same fucking thing. Except
No,
he
no, no,
left
no,
the
no. He
bolt.
left Zeth with the sword that gave him the surge to get out. He could have left him there without it.
Yes, because they're not real people. They're like the manifestation of the unmade or whatever.
I like
That's
the
why
idea
they
that they
that's
actually
why
are
they
real people that are just
They are
like
like their
yeah,
memories and stuff are real. I don't like, but they're not like they're just a test for him right now.
yeah.
Important
Their
thing
entire purpose is to test him at this point.
is Nightblood's like a radiant saber in the real world, and it can like it's like an all encompassing honor blade. It can give all the surges supposedly. because it can talk to all the things and learn all the surges.
Is it a so the go with me on this. I'm about to throw out a weird theory. So the way that like light and anti-light, do you think that like Nightblood is like an accumulation, like the opposite of a normal honor blade? Like whatever it is that makes an honor blade work, it is the kind of antithesis to that. That's why it doesn't have any surges, but like it just like funk, and then it's just like you're dead.
But it gives him a surge in this fight.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It tries to, and it just kills.
Yeah,
It just makes something
he he
gone.
he he
It, it
specifically
like
didn't give him a surge. He said he
it,
was
it like
didn't do what he thought.
forms it forms the like bridge and stuff.
No,
Nightblood does.
no.
Pretty sure.
No, he gets the elves collar blade, and he gets out of there.
Yeah,
Nightblood Susie says that he's like he talked to the
I
other honor blades and it's
yeah.
like
He said he talked to the other honor blades and he thought he understood how to give surges.
yeah,
And Seth
he's
is like, you can do
trying.
that? He's like, apparently not.
Yeah, he's trying to. That's why he like creates a little like pathway and stuff.
he doesn't create the pathway.
No, he doesn't.
I've been chatting with the honor blades. You were Nightblood. Okay, so crash exploded from the swords, a blast of force. So when they actually when an honor blade hits Nightblood, a crash from the swords, a blast force that hurls the beads back, this huge crater, kind of like an explosion when light hits when they were messing with anti-light.
Yeah.
And the answer, like a leaf, her hit, it cost her. She's dead. So the hit hits, like she holds up her weapon. He comes in with Nightblade, hits the Honor Blade, and explosion happens, and she drops dead.
Well, no,
Nightblade is
she
like,
dies. She
Yeah,
dies
she
later.
dies later when he stabs
oh
her.
yeah, that's true. She died later, but she fell still as if dead, but it like knocked her
It
down.
sucked all of her stormlight up.
Yeah. And Nightblood said, that didn't do what I thought it would. Wait, what'd you think it would do? I've been chatting with the Honor Blades and thought maybe I'd give you some other radiance ability. You could do that? Apparently not. I thought I'd give it a go.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to do a surge, and that is what his surge was.
Well, no, it's because he hit the. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, I didn't say he's. Yeah. Yeah.
Then later,
I would be highly surprised and annoyed if Nightblood ends up being able to give all the surges.
yeah, I like that idea. That's kind of like
He's already OP as fuck anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I don't think he will. I don't think that's in the cards.
yeah, Seth stabbed into the air, his hand growing cold as the honor blade drew stormlight from him in a rush, the weapon's tip slicing through reality. It was the honor blade that cut the hole in reality to get him back.
Yeah, I didn't mean that. It doesn't matter. I thought he did. He tried. Nightblood tried to like make a path in one of the fights, and it didn't really work. That's what he said.
Ah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
The-
That's kind of it's a fight. It's pretty
let's
cool.
see.
Goes
I
on.
enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. That's kind of what my notes is. It's just like, that was a really cool fight. I'm happy that we're doing this. I'm also very happy that the Elf Caller is this old man who just killed himself rather than doing something else. Because if he really wanted to try to, I mean, like, Elf Caller is kind of broken, so a god form of an Elf Caller is it's just gonna win.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really even try to kill Seth, so
I know.
it was kind
Which
of like
is
whatever. So now they have 4 swords that they're gonna have to like carry around.
Yeah.
Oh, then he like pops back up. Or
5 with
is it?
Nightblood.
Yeah.
So one, did we know already that non-radiants could command the beads with Stormlight?
No.
Or was this new information?
That was new to
I
me.
mean, makes sense. I mean, they go on
Well,
Shadespar. It's just like investiture powered stuff.
Yeah.
And then so the Elfscholar Posen says that Seth seeks a position that hasn't been sought or achieved in thousands of years. Like is it like is he talking about becoming honor?
I don't know.
Or Because
And
it's not just the honor bearer, right?
where
Becoming a
become
herald
honor.
or something. Probably a herald.
Maybe. I did say I think I don't like it, but I do think Seth is gonna become honor.
Yeah, sure. I don't
I
like it
mean,
either. I don't see
oh,
how it could happen unless like some. We need our guy. It's one thing that's annoying about this book. It's like everybody's so spread out. Like so, like this stuff right now, I just don't care about it because like it's just like a side quest right now. I know it will eventually turn into something, but I'm just like ugh. Two of my least favorite characters running around in a side plot,
see, this
fighting
is my
people.
favorite plot, hands down. Like the Adolin, actually, that's a lie. The Adolin one's the most fun to read. Whenever I get to a new chapter and it's like Adolin face, I was like, ooh, it's gonna be a
I
little
wish, I wish,
battle. That's what
I wish Shinovar was more interesting.
I like them all. I just think we get the information to me, I get the information too slow.
I think if Shinovar was not just like we're gonna go to a couple of temples and fight people, but like actually like a interesting culture with like people instead of just like this weird unmade post-apocalypse or something, be more interested in it. But it's just kind of like boring to me.
I how I brought up that other people in there, the other shins seem to be way more like not nearly as rigid. I was kind of hoping for an entire nation of Seths
Yeah,
of just like whole like so there's this idea in D&D where like there's certain realms of that are only certain things like chaotic neutral realms or stuff like this. I want an entire realm of nothing but lawful neutral where you had
yeah,
to navigate an entire nation of lawful neutralness.
yeah,
Like
or
how
like
insane.
yeah, or their culture to be a little bit more fleshed out. It's kind of just like they're just kind of
Feeling
like
is bad.
dudes. I don't know. Like if you think like Wheel of Time, like right, you kind of think of like the Aiel. They're like such an interesting, diverse culture in this world
Mhm.
that I thought we were gonna get something, not the Aiel, but like something as interesting and different for the Shin as that, since they're isolationist and like. But it's kind of just like we're going to the next castle and fighting dudes, which is, I mean, the fights are cool. They're really
Yeah.
fun, but it's not quite as interesting as I hoped. And I hope it will get it because I assume like the wind is gonna do something with something, and then the stone is gonna appear. And, it's like it's gonna come
You hope
together.
something happens
It's
and it
gonna
comes.
be. It's gonna come together. I know it is because
Bold
it's
prediction. Justin says there's something's going
there's
to happen.
there's gonna be a Sanderlanche.
Um, no, before we move on, there were a few things
That's the
I thought
twist.
were
There is no
interesting.
Sanderlanche. It just kind of flumps and
That
ends.
would be really funny. It's just a 6 year cliffhanger.
Um, that would be dumb, and I would hate it so much. Um,
Did I get
a
my
few
stomach just
things,
then?
huh?
My stomach just growled really loud.
Oh,
Didn't
I
I?
was making noise, so I didn't hear it. So before we move on to the next chapter, I thought it was interesting that Seth said the Elf-Scholar blade felt scared, like it wanted to be in the hands of a herald after he grabbed it. He talks to the sprin of the blade, um, and that's when he stabs the air and it opens a portal, just as the beads collapse. So, um, I think here it was he decided to take a different approach and um, finally figured out how to use the Elf-Scholar ability, which is fun.
Yeah.
And then I just laughed hysterically when Kaladin was like, "Seth, what are you doing? We got honor bearers to deal with. Like, get up."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
So
what
they're
were you
going
doing?"
to the Light Weaver next. I will say, I don't know how y'all feel. I don't like this like reveal that his honor sprint kind of sucks and just kind of bumbling idiot.
It does kind of lessen it.
Don't.
High sprint.
It's a lot of the Kaladin, like I kind of like the relationship because Zeth stuff is very serious, and like Kaladin's now playing the foil or almost the comic relief, the lightheartedness. Like he's giving that to the story, which is nice. So yeah, you didn't need two elements. You didn't need now also the Spren.
I don't
It's nice to have like Seal and Kaladin, and then those two as a juxtapose.
I don't I didn't get the feeling that he's a bumbling idiot. I
Not
got
he's a bumbling idiot, but he's not nearly as like reserved as he was.
he
like
He
he
loses
puts
some
on a
of his-
facade that he is harder than he actually is.
Yeah, and it would be kind of cool if he just was that hard. You know?
Yeah.
Instead of being super lawful, like instead of actually being super lawful, where it's like, no, I resist your ability to use this. Hold, 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 and not being that. He goes, oh, I should be that. Like the high sprint is like this is the idea of a high sprint, but I'm not that.
Yeah,
I think
but
that
it'd be
they
very
play-
nice
I
if
think
he
that's
wasn't.
the reveal is
Yeah, I think it's less interesting to me
Yeah.
personally. Where like,
It'd be
because
cooler
like,
if he was just this ancient stoic being.
yeah, like that.
but I
was
could see
like-
it playing. I could see it being integral to what the epigraphs were getting at, where you know, there's schisms in the Skybreakers, and it has to deal with the way the Spren work.
Yeah, it's just the way they were set up. They were like really cool and interesting and like disconnected from like the world in an interesting way. And it's just like, like I'm a Mr. Bean moment. It's just kind of like, And then
Oh, here's a
Seth,
spoon. It's like,
and then Seth is like, "Well, if you lose the illusion, you can't get it back. I'm not going to be a cult follower." It's just kind of like,
yeah.
I didn't quite enjoy it, but we'll see where it goes and where it leads. It's probably going to be another thing of like, I'm free from my shackles of.
I didn't have a strong opinion.
Yeah, that's why I want. That's
I
why.
actually felt that too. That, and I love how Solid Calvin's just like, hey, why'd you wander off?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
you got
that's
a couple blades.
that's the real reason I wanted him to have two Spren, and the Spren he's been talking to is the rock Spren from his childhood, and not this guy.
Yeah.
But it's just because it'll be way more interesting. But anyway, we get 54 last chapter. Shallan and Adolin. Shallan is like freaking out that Formless has returned. And like, your pattern's like, it'll always be with you, but you can control it and stuff like that. Blah blah
Then-
blah.
And then they all try to find all of the hidden Mickeys at Disney World.
Yep. They're like, that's a face, and that's a face, and that's a face. So Boad,
Let's go in this room. Oh my God, there's faces in this room too.
yeah. We get like some Relaine stuff. His like parents apparently died in a flood, and he was like a little odd boy.
He
Cool.
raised axe hounds.
Creates act hounds, which we've learned that are kind of like dogs because ancient humans bred them to be dogs because all of our dogs died. So they get a little bit of that, and then they're gonna like go into another vision, and then Aelin's chilling. Then Nora comes out and she's like, "Hey, stop making Gox believe he's a soldier because he's gonna get himself killed." Hint, hint. And he was like, "Well, stop treating him like a emperor, and he has no friends, and he's just gonna be like a crazy person." And she's like, "Well, that's kind of a good idea, but you're a little irresponsible because you weren't gonna be king." And he's like, "I didn't want to be king because of the oaths and stuff. I'd rather just be a good dude." And
So
then,
what if? Okay, so what if Yanagon actually does die, and then Nora and the other viziers make Adolin the Azish Empire Emperor?
maybe. I don't know if he's
It's
good
like-
at. I don't know if he's good at writing essays. Then
Right,
It should be May Aladar.
but
should be male other.
but I don't think so. I think if we go with the theme of things changing, of everything changing, And in this case, I think Adolin has successfully put seeds of thought and change in Nora's mind. That it would change. I'm saying change a lot. Um, the way the Azish Empire works would become fundamentally different upon that
Yeah.
death
Would that void the contract if it happened before the 10 days?
I don't think so. Because he'd just be the Emperor Azamir.
If it's the same, then it's the same. Yeah, but if it changed, I mean, like if
Is
it
it-
actually changes on a fundamental level, then it might not be considered the same nation.
Well, he would give up all claim to Alethkar and Earthera.
He already has.
He would- Yeah, so I don't see why it would.
I don't see why it would change it.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool.
Than saying like a foreigner, but I mean, in their doctrine, as it said, no foreigner can be.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't remember.
I have not read the Aegis line of succession code.
If it's anywhere, it's in the Lift chapter.
It's
or
probably
first.
it's probably a weird loophole in there. I'm guessing
Yeah.
because they would be like, if a foreigner did such a good essay, we would take him in. Yeah, I could see that. I do think Gox's death flags were flying super high.
Someone's gonna die there. One of those two.
Obviously, someone.
I'd rather it be Gox than Adolin, but I still think it's gonna be just because Adolin's almost too good. That makes sense. Like everyone else has a big flaw. Adolin doesn't really have a flaw.
Eh,
You know what I mean?
Don't want to work things out with his dad.
I mean,
No, that's not the real flaw. If anything, that's just a tragic extra on him dying. That's flowers on the grave. Like
he's like vague.
no, he does not have a real flaw as a character. Not compared to the other people. Does Shallan have a flaw? Does R'lain? Does Renarin? Does Dalinar? Does
You know,
Navani? Does
R'lain doesn't really have a flaw. We don't really know anything about R'lain.
That's true. We don't.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, he's not.
He's very bitter about things.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's not gonna die.
I thought it was a nice. I thought this chapter was a nice little wrap up for the day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my notes on this one was I feel the same as it did in the previous chapters with these characters, like same kind of feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, the
I
only
do
thing,
like that we're getting a little bit more Lane.
yeah, the only thing I got is this is really flying Gox's death flags.
You know what I want to get?
It could be a red herring and kill Adolin, but we'll see.
I want to get a poster of that.
Yeah, the dread form.
That like just like beware the fuse or engage with beware the Regals. Engage with extreme caution.
I will say if
Like,
this is
that'd be a cool
supposed
poster.
this
I'll
is
put that
supposed
right-
to be is this supposed to be in world?
I think that's in-world poster. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an Emerald poster for Shattered
That is
Dreams.
cool.
Yeah, I don't think it fits the world. I mean, they look cool, but I don't think it fits the world.
Well, yeah, because the guys can't read it.
It's a glyph.
No, just like the art style.
That's that. Well, yeah, but that big glyph at the top, that's the Shash brand. The Shash glyph
Beware,
means danger.
danger.
Yeah, they look cool, but I don't think it fits the art style. In my opinion, that's fine.
Are you ready for your favorite character? Who
I
actually
did
might have turned interesting?
I did see that there was another one of these like flyers drawn
I
in the
think
book.
Yeah,
later on.
Yeah.
yeah.
I haven't looked past
so-
where we're at.
We get Moash. I missed the part. For some reason, it didn't seem like his eyes got melted out of his face, but his eyes got melted out of his face. I guess I just missed it.
I
Yeah.
remember him being blinded, but I assumed he would just regrow it. Like,
Yeah, for some reason, it didn't seem that crazy.
I didn't think his eyeballs were removed. I thought he just
Yeah.
was blind, and
yeah,
it definitely said that he could not heal it.
Yeah, that was true. He did
I
say
don't, I
that.
don't understand why, but whatever. So yeah, he's in pain. He's like, "Oh my God, I kill people!" Oh man! And then Odium appears and is like, "Hey, you want some crystals in your face?" And he's like, "Sure, give me some crystals." And he's like, "All right, time to go fuck some people up." And that's kind of that chapter. It was cool.
It was cool. My one note here,
He's very easily swayed.
yeah, he is. My one note here was that Bata had a different rhythm of light compared to Odium, and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, so he is now a Crystal Inquisitor, which is
I wonder
cool.
if that means that the anti-void light doesn't actually work now because the rhythm slightly changed.
So
Well, we
yeah,
don't know if it's changed. We don't know if her rhythm actually changed. It's just different compared to Odium.
Hmm.
yeah. And then finally, you get tiny little Odium. He's like, I'm gonna go fight. I love Carveron. Let's go fight. That's kind of it.
Yeah, that chapter, I literally my note only notes for it is short and sweet.
I
It's
just
pretty much
wrote,
like, yeah, I thought about it and yeah, war. Both sides of me.
yeah, I literally just
Totally.
wrote the summary, um, but yeah, the fact that he didn't actually show himself to his daughter and grandchildren, um, who aren't like it's they might as well be non-characters,
Yeah,
but
they're plot devices.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's the end of day 4.
yeah.
Day 5, we get Vinley, so we're gonna get our Sandworm Dune style saving the day in the Shattered Plains.
Oh,
We get some Dalinar. We get some Sigil. We get Seth, Navani, Yasna. So we're gonna get some Thalen City, Renarin, Adolin, Kaladin, and Shallan. So we get a lot of people.
I'm really hoping that Dalinar and Navani are actually um, lifting wit.
If not, they have to at least be an interlude. Just take out one of those like 2-paragraph Odium chapters and give me a chapter with them. I don't need him being like, "I'm gonna fight some more." Like we get it. I mean, they're cool, but I don't
yeah. I think it just I think just the purpose of those is mostly just
yeah, little
Odium and
capstones.
Taravangian struggling.
Yeah, it's little capstones stuff.
Yeah, so it should be fun. Um, if y'all made it this far, thank y'all for listening or watching and whatever source you're doing. Um,
I want to say do not hammer crystal spikes into your eyes. You do not know hemalurgy and it will not work.
yeah, very much so. Please don't do that.
Yes.
Um, but um, you can hammer that like button, um, until your eyes bleed. That's acceptable. Like, follow, subscribe, share, leave a rating or review wherever you can. It helps us out. Um,
You could join
and
the argument. Who's going to die? Adolin, Gox, or neither?
yeah, and also the more you share, like, and all this stuff, the more people listen and interact with us, the more we if we get tired, we're more likely to keep doing it if there's a big community. So, um, yeah, every little bit helps. We love doing this. We don't do it just for community. Um, really, I do it so I could talk to my friends.
Yeah,
Um,
in my
so yeah,
cat.
do those things. Visit our sponsor, Mudcat Whiskers, at www.mudcatwhiskers.com. Remember to use code Paperweights at checkout. Make sure you go watch Justin's War and Peace episode.
Yeah, you might pick up a 1,300-page book. I mean, you're already doing it now,
Another
so
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
it has a definite ending, so you'll get a full story.
Yeah. And we will be discussing day 5 next week.
At the end of it, we'll be halfway through. I
Yes.
wasn't waving, I was holding up part 5, but
Oh,
also
well, if you do this, it's like waving. So,
I did like this. 5. Mhm. but it was.
Hey,
Hey,
Nix.
Nix.
She's like, what's going on?
Is Nix telling us it's time to log off?
Yes.
Maybe.
Well, bye, Nix, and bye, everyone else.
Bye.